Welcome to the After Show, where Cole, the crew chief, has put together some afterthoughts, maybe some bonus footage, the occasional blooper, and even a couple of short stories from Along for the Ride podcast with the Mad Dog and Cole. Check it out right after this. So Hobbs was Hobbs. Crowd was fair. Racing was fantastic. Um, Obviously, Kyle Bitterman has been working on it. Dude, holy cow. He was on a tear. He qualified faster than Peters. Um, there's a kid, and I can't remember his name right now. Doggone it. You will probably know. He runs a two-stroke, I think. He runs
I
412.
know exactly what his setup looks like and everything, but I don't know his
Lesher,
name. Not
Lesher,
sure.
I think, and he's fast. But dude, he reminds me of me on a road bike because he's like on the edge of crashing every lap.
That's
Like,
exciting.
yeah, I think he went down in both practices and both qualifiers.
Hope he's got a bar sponsor.
And he was out, I think at one point he had the lead. Bitterman got the whole shot, but got squeezed out a little bit. And I think Lesher was in the lead. I think that's his name, anyways. 412. He was in the lead, and if I remember right, he crashed out in the whoops. The whoops were gnarly in Hobbs. They were wasn't. It's not a very big arena, but they just made them gnarly. And this is the first time this year I've seen Kyle Peters struggle with whoops. I don't know if it was just the timing of them or there was a 180 into him. Maybe it was just lack of speed. The bike looked fine. Um, but even on some of the post race interviews, like Peters was like, I was struggling in the whoops, and KB was faster than me in the whoops, and he truly was, man. I mean, he was like, yeah, he was blitzing the whoops and looked good. And those two ended up having in the first pro main, dude, those two must have battled for, I don't know, 4 or 5 laps, and they probably changed positions 5 or 6 times in 4 or 5 laps. I mean, just all over each other like stink on
Just
shit,
super
you know?
exciting racing, huh?
Yeah, it was really, really good racing. And Peters finally, Bitterman, I think, if I remember right, made a little oops going into the corner after the whoops, and Peters got by him, and then uh, Bitterman stayed close, but just couldn't take away that first place. And in the second pro main, Bitterman and Peters started second from last and last, like second row. And on the first lap, one of the guys from the first row um, slid out, which it's kind of ironic. Flying Taco slid out, and and Peters got tangled, or Bitterman got tangled with him, and that was it. But they were on their way. They were both on their way to the lead. Peters was right there, just a little bit wider, and he scraped through. But man, oh man, dude, that sucked. But it's kind of funny because Carlos, who they call the Flying Taco, um, it pits and travels with Bitterman
Oh,
and his
interesting.
crew.
Okay. Yep.
So
Adds a
there's no,
dynamic.
yeah, there's no animosity there. It's just bad time, bad luck, bad timing.
It's just business.
But yeah, Pro Main 2, um, nobody had a challenge for Peters. I mean, by the end of the first lap, I think he had the lead and just never looked back. And I think Bitterman got back up and got going and got back up to fifth and made a mistake and went way back and got back up to fifth. So it was a good, exciting night of racing, and Taco won one of the semis, which was really rad to see. I always cheer for him. He's kind of a fan favorite, I think, because he can be kind of flamboyant, and you never know what he's going to say on the mic. When they did the 1v1 race in where was it, Loveland or Prescott Valley? He asked Kristen Banks out on a date. So
I saw that. She was like, "What are you going to do with this money?" And he's like, "Well, I can take you to dinner."
yeah. I mean, that's Taco. That's Taco Short right there.
And the sport needs personalities, right?
Hell yeah.
Because I got a helmet on 99% of the time. So you need somebody to root for.
Yep, for sure. Dude, we had such a blast. The booth was set up right on the mezzanine on this little area that's cut out perfect, and was just like right there above the action. I had a ton of fun with Wes Kane, interacting with him. He kept calling me out, MAddOG'S, show off that bullfrog speaker we're going to give away tonight. And so yeah, it was really cool. And I had some VIP guests come in from JD Glassworks in Lubbock, my buddy Bobby and his girl Kayla, I think. But yeah, and come to find out, Bobby listens to the cast. So shout out, Bobby.
What's
Appreciate
up, Bobby?
You.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for making the haul from Amarillo or Lubbock. I'm in Amarillo now. From Lubbock to Hobbs to catch some racing, hang out for the night. We had a great time. Super rad. So it was a good night. And yeah, man, I'm just excited to get on with this next episode that we're working on. Boy, it's going to be a good time. I think, yeah.
Well, thank you for the recap. Let's get on with the episode.
For sure.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening to the After Show. Please make sure to rate, review, and subscribe on your favorite streaming service. We here at Along for the Ride need to thank our partners that make this all possible. Kicker Performance Audio. Check them out at kicker.com. Bomber Floating Eyewear. See all the latest and greatest styles at bombereyewear.com. Of course, me at the Premix Podcast. Check us out on Instagram at the Premix Podcast. And of course, the YouTube wouldn't be possible without Kelsey Morel Film. Check her out on Kelsey Morel Film on Instagram.